Hello everybody, I'm Griffin Gaming, and welcome back to Depression Quest. So, we just opened up to Alex, we had a nice little date spur thing, and we're back. It is an utterly nondescript Wednesday afternoon, the type of afternoon that would completely fade from memory unless one made an active effort to preserve it. As has become a routine on Wednesdays, you are sitting on the couch in Dr. Melville's office. To your mild surprise, she begins the session by breaking her characteristic therapist's silence and begins speaking up right away. I wanted to start by saying I think it's great that you decided to come see me. It's an incredibly important first step, she begins. I wanted to take some time today to talk about the possibility of supplementing or substituting your treatment with medication. The mention of medication makes your ears perk up and you feel your heart rate increasing. She continues. Many people find adding a pharmacological element to their treatment to be very helpful, and some even prefer to take drugs, completely eliminating their need to visit a therapist at all. Providing you rely on your support network and are still reaching out to people, I would prefer it if we kept talking, should you choose to start medication, so that I can monitor your progress and adjust as needed, but the choice is ultimately yours. I just wanted to run the option by you to gauge what your thoughts on the matter might be. Dr. Melville has just given you a lot to think about. What do you do? Oh my god, yes! I got the first choice! Oh my god, yay! Oh, that's so exciting! Oh my god, yes. Positivity time choice. Yes. Oh, that feels so good. You think the matter over long and hard. It's strange to think that recently none of this sort of thing was even on your radar, and here you are now being asked to make a decision about it. You're both skeptical and nervous, still getting over the initial shock of even just talking to a therapist. Still, over the years you've done enough entry-level reading on the subject to know that if it doesn't help, at least it probably won't hurt, right? After an intense and protracted period of internal vacillation, you decide to bite the bullet and go for it. You tell Dr. Melville that you'd like to try medication in addition to your therapy, and you spend about half an hour going over what you'll be taking, and what you should expect from it. Thinking back on the decision later, you're pretty sure you had your fists tightly clenched the whole way through. Oh my god, I think I'm actually succeeding. I don't know how close this is going to be to the end, but I think I'm doing it. It is a Wednesday evening, and you're visiting at your parents' house for a holiday. It is one of the handful of times during the year you drive out to visit your old hometown, and you've seen random people you had gone to school with around town. Whenever bumping into them, the usual short versions of what you've done since graduating are exchanged. You've gone through a few of these today, and I've been very aware of how much you feel you haven't accomplished. When you were in high school, you had much larger plans, and you feel like you failed to manifest most of them. Even if you had managed to, you've largely lost interest in what you thought you wanted to do growing up. Now you're not really sure what you want to do, and you feel like you're lacking the ambition or drive to figure it out. Everyone you've caught up with seems so much happier than you, like they've got all their lives figured out, and you've been feeling like a failure by comparison. Your brother Malcolm arrives with his wife in tow shortly before you all sit down to dinner. He's been traveling for his job lately, and you haven't seen him since the day he picked you up from the dentist. Your parents haven't seen him since before then. During dinner, they all catch up, and Malcolm talks about the amazing things he's done on the road. Your mother turns to you and asks what you've been up to since you've seen him last. Oh, same old, you say. Nothing really new going on. Your mother makes a face. Oh, nothing new? How long are you planning on keeping that job of yours? Wait, what? I lost the first option? Oh wait, okay, no, that's probably not an option because I'm not actually going for a new job because I didn't take the career path to go through a new job. That's probably why. So, none of these are good choices. I don't want to lie to them because they're gonna if I admit to them that I don't know what to do, they're gonna tell me off and scold me and be mean to me. But my brother and my dad might defend me, so I'm gonna do this. Actually, you start sheepishly, I'm not really sure what I want to do right now. Your mother puts down your fork. So what? You're planning on living the way you do for the rest of your life? How could you afford a paycheck? How could you afford a house on that paycheck? What about kids? Your father interrupts, lightly placing his hand over your mother's. It's okay, Linda. Let the kids be what they are. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want to do in your 20s. I didn't get to construction until I was nearly 40. Your mother looks across the table at you, unsatisfied with her husband's reasoning. I don't think it's normal for someone at that age to not have a path. You need to think hard about it, or you'll never make anything of yourself. Mom, come on, Malcolm interjects. Okay, they're doing what I wanted them to. This emotionally exhausts you. You want to tell her that you are thinking hard, and that not knowing what you're doing with yourself bothers you more than you could ever bother her. That sometimes it feels like you're lost in the woods, and that if you were to drop dead in your apartment, the world wouldn't notice. Second. It's better. You probably didn't see that, though. I raised my brightness. You want to make her understand that more often than not, you would feel like an alien. Like there isn't anywhere in this world that feels like a place where you belong, and you have no idea how to fix it or what to do. You wish you could find the words so you would understand that being looked down on for this kills you, and drives home the feeling of being a total outsider. Instead, you get very quiet for the rest of the meal while your mind goes numb. Everything inside you feels exhausted. So, I guess that wasn't really what I wanted to do. But at least they supported me, because that was what I thought they would do. It is a rainy night. You are hurrying through the rain to Alex's apartment at her behest. Though your pace is quick, the rain is steadily soaking up your paint legs as you traverse the town, and it's darkening your already poor mood. The call came while you were at home after a day of dealing with abnormally frustrating people. You spent the afternoon trying to unwind and get some work on your project done. Alex called and interrupted one of your try to make progress, get frustrated not making progress, have a harder time making progress due to frustration, repeat, loops, and you haven't fully shaken off the feelings of being annoyed at it from yourself yet. You knock on her door, and on the third knock hear her voice call from further in the apartment to come on in. As you cross the threshold, dripping rainwater all the way, you notice that the lights are turned down very low in the apartment. You squint to navigate. Oh, wait, hey. Oh, okay. Hold on a second, I should have ahead a little bit. You notice that the lights are turned down very low in the apartment. You squint to navigate it as you clutch onto your damp umbrella, but end up hitting your shin on a side table, mumbling profanity under your breath. You barely make out Alex emerging from the hallway, clad in what looks like to be a robe, with the bare skin of her legs peering out underneath. Why don't you come in and warm up? She asks in her designated, slightly cheesy, sexy voice. After a beat of silence, she states more naturally, My roommates are out of town this weekend, so I thought it might be nice to have a little fun once in a while. You appreciate your affection, but you're too wrapped up in your own negative feedback loops to be in the mood right now. What do you do? Alright, number 2, always the best option. I think that, because, like I said, my main goal is to be as close as possible with Alex. I think she's nice. So, I'm gonna do this. You look at her standing, barely lit, and notices a few candles scattered around the apartment. It occurs to you that she has tried to make this night special for the two of you. Even though you have a tight knot of antisocial frustration in your stomach, seeing how much she cares makes you want to try it, to melt it away, so you can show her how much you care that she's gone through all this trouble. However, you desperately need to shift gears first before that's even possible. You look amazing. Let's have a drink together, he suggests, hoping that this will give you the push you need to get into the mood. You go into the kitchen and pour the two of you drinks, trying to focus on letting go of your bad mood. You sit down on the couch next to her, and she curls up to you instantly. What should we toast to? She asks as she takes her drink. You think for a moment, passing up the cheesy, to us option. You say what's on your mind, letting go of your bad day. To tonight. The two of you cheers, and you ask about her day. Conversation turns flirtatious, and the two of you find yourselves in the bedroom shortly after. You find that you're having trouble getting into things physically with her, and you remembered that diminished arousal was a possible side effect of your medication. You'd hoped that you were part of the population that wouldn't be affected by it, but it seemed that this was not the case. However, you're still able to enjoy the closeness with Alex, and fall asleep together happily. Hooray! Second half to... I'm like partially crying in my left eye. I don't know if it had anything to do with the game, but I am. Yeah. It is an early winter evening, and even though it's not particularly late, the time of the year has lent the sky an almost prematurely darkened cast. Excuse me. It is an early... Wait, I said that. Day after day, just like today, you trudge home from a job you have been increasingly coming to hate. On this day, your job misery seems to have reached a critical mass, and not even shedding your rain-laden and uncomfortable work clothes helps you from unwind from your workday. You collapse into your couch, blank and numb. While your job always seemed to be an unpleasant reality of existence, it was a position you sort of fell into unexpectedly, never intending to work there long term, and it's getting harder and harder to keep it up. While it's certainly not your dream job, you've always just sort of stuck it out of necessity before, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to do that. Though you couldn't even begin to imagine what else you could do, you find yourself face to face with a question you just can't ignore. Is your complacency worth the price of this level of misery? What do you do? Okay, so I guess now it's time to start trying to change my job, because that seems to have become an increasing issue over these past couple of frames here. So... No, I don't care about the project. The project is not what I want to do. You boot up your computer and navigate to the local Craigslist. You sift through a myriad of legitimate postings, clear pyramid scams, and the occasional miscategorized random personal ad. You look through the section that is in line with your current job and start feeling a bit of despair. Would things really be any different if you were simply doing the same thing somewhere else? You email your resume to a few of the postings after coming up with a cover letter that you could use for a variety of things. After you've exhausted the postings for the last few days, you head back to the main page. There's a section that's more in line with the project you've been doing, though it's highly competitive creative field that you don't feel remotely qualified for. Despite that, you click on the section. Scrolling through the postings, you daydream about actually holding a position where you get to do something more meaningful. Despite feeling completely intimidated by the requirements, you find a listing you actually want to apply for. You spend an hour crafting a really personal cover letter and really giving your all to the task, and nervously send off the email. You're rather convinced you'll never hear back from any of these places, but the act of trying to change the situation instead of stewing on it actually feels quite freeing. You find yourself trying to stifle the hope that you end up getting the creative job, but it still manages to bubble up anyways. Alright, and with that, I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please join me next time on Depression Quest. Griffin Gaming, signing out.